Today, we're diving deep into the incredible story of Prophet Yunus, also known as Jonah. It's a tale not just of a man and a whale, but a profound lesson in patience, repentance, and the infinite mercy of Allah. Prophet Yunus was sent to the bustling, sinful city of Nineveh, a place drowning in arrogance and disbelief. For years, he tirelessly called his people back to the path of righteousness, pleading with them to worship the one true God. Imagine his frustration, his voice echoing in streets filled with deaf ears and hardened hearts. Day after day, he was met with mockery, ridicule, and stubborn denial. His warnings of divine punishment fell on deaf ears. Finally, reaching his breaking point, Yunus felt a wave of despair. Believing he had done all he could, he made a fateful decision. He walked away. He left Nineveh, angry and disheartened, convinced that the people were beyond saving and that their doom was sealed. He headed for the coast, seeking escape, and boarded a ship, hoping to put the city and its rebellious inhabitants far behind him. But as the ship sailed into the open sea, a strange and terrifying storm began to brew. The sky turned dark, the waves crashed against the hull with furious force, and the vessel was tossed about like a toy. The sailors, experienced men of the sea, were terrified. They knew this was no ordinary storm. They believed someone on board must have angered their gods, bringing this wrath upon them all. To save the ship, they decided to cast lots, to draw names, to find the person who needed to be thrown overboard to appease the heavens. They drew the first lot. The name that came up was Yunus. The sailors were hesitant. Yunus was known to them as a righteous man. They couldn't bring themselves to throw him into the raging sea. So they decided to draw lots again. A second time, the name was Yunus. Still, their hearts resisted. They drew lots a third and final time. Inevitably, once more, the name that emerged was Yunus. At that moment, Prophet Yunus understood. This wasn't a coincidence. This was the hand of Allah. He realized his mistake wasn't in his message, but in his impatience. He had abandoned his post without Allah's permission. He had given up on his people too soon. With a heavy heart, but with full submission to the will of God, he accepted his fate. He knew this was the consequence of his actions. As the storm raged, he was cast into the tumultuous, dark waters of the sea. As he plunged into the abyss, just when it seemed all hope was lost, something miraculous happened. By the command of Allah, a giant fish, a creature of immense size, swam forward and swallowed Prophet Yunus whole. But here's the miracle. He wasn't crushed, he wasn't digested. He was preserved alive in the dark, suffocating belly of this massive creature. Can you imagine the terror? The absolute darkness, the feeling of being trapped, the sounds of the ocean muffled and distant. It was a prison unlike any other. In this moment of utter helplessness, stripped of all worldly power and pride, Prophet Yunus did the only thing he could. He turned to Allah. He didn't despair. He didn't curse his fate. Instead, from the depths of the ocean and the depths of his soul, he uttered one of the most powerful prayers in history. He cried out, La ilaha illa anta, subhanaka, inni kuntu minas zalimin. This translates to, there is no deity worthy of worship except you. Exalted are you. Indeed, I have been of the wrongdoers. Think about the power of these words. He didn't make excuses. He didn't blame the people of Nineveh. He took full responsibility. He acknowledged the absolute perfection and sovereignty of Allah, and he admitted his own shortcoming, his own injustice to himself by acting out of haste. This beautiful, humble, and sincere supplication rose from the belly of the fish, through the layers of the ocean, and reached the heavens. Allah, the most merciful, the hearer of all prayers, heard the plea of his servant. He tells us in the Quran that had it not been for Yunus's constant glorification of God, he would have remained in the belly of the fish until the day of judgment. But because of his sincere repentance, Allah commanded the great fish to swim to the shore and cast Yunus out onto the land. He was weak, unwell, and exposed from his ordeal. But Allah's mercy didn't stop there. He caused a plant, a type of gourd, to grow over Yunus, providing him with shade from the scorching sun and sustenance to regain his strength. He was cared for by his Creator in his moment of greatest vulnerability. Now, what about the people of Nineveh? The people Yunus had left behind? When Yunus departed, and they saw the first signs of the punishment he had warned them about dark clouds gathering, a change in the atmosphere, fear finally gripped their hearts. They realized that Yunus was telling the truth. In a massive, unprecedented display of collective repentance, the entire city, over 100,000 people, from the king to the commoner, young and old, came out in humility. They covered themselves in sackcloth, cried out to Allah for forgiveness, and sincerely turned away from their wicked ways. Allah, seeing their genuine repentance, lifted the punishment from them. He forgave them. This is the only community mentioned in the Quran that was saved in its entirety after the punishment had become imminent, all because of their sincere, collective turning back to God. When Prophet Yunus had recovered his strength, Allah commanded him to return to Nineveh. Imagine his astonishment when he arrived. The city he had left in anger and despair was now a city of believers. The people who had once mocked him now welcomed him as their guide and prophet. He lived among them, teaching them and guiding them, and they remained a righteous nation for a generation. So what can we learn from this incredible journey? The story of Yunus is a powerful reminder for every single one of us. First, it teaches us the importance of patience, especially when we are trying to do good. Change doesn't happen overnight. We must never give up hope in people, and more importantly, never give up hope in Allah's plan. Second, it shows us the immense power of repentance. No matter how deep in darkness we find ourselves, no matter how big our mistakes, a sincere call to Allah can change everything. The prayer of Yunus is a gift to us all, a powerful tool for when we feel overwhelmed and have wronged ourselves. La ilaha illa anta, subhanaka, inni kuntu minaz zalimin. Memorize it, use it. And finally, this story is a beautiful illustration of Allah's infinite mercy and forgiveness. He forgave Yunus for his impatience, and he forgave the entire city of Nineveh for their years of sin. His door is always open. All we have to do is turn back to him. The story of Prophet Yunus is not just a tale from the past. It's a roadmap for navigating our own storms, a beacon of hope in our own moments of darkness. It reminds us that even from the belly of despair, the light of Allah's mercy can reach us. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into one of the Quran's most profound stories. I hope it brought you as much benefit as it brings me every time I reflect on it. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more inspiring stories from our rich tradition, please hit that like button, share it with someone who might need to hear this message, and don't forget to subscribe for more content. Until next time, may peace be with you.